Hi friends, Kris here with Through the Prism of Chrism videocast. I don't know if you've been in the cab of my wife's Ford Ranger pickup truck, but that's where the selfie stick is today. We're talking on healing, and today I want you to look at the past tense provision of your healing. You know, Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 5, which was written 800 years before Calvary. It says, he was wounded for our, Now notice this, he speaks as though it's already a past tense. He was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace is upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Now, by faith through the telescope of prophecy, Isaiah claimed for his generation 800 years before Christ that we are healed. But look at Peter, and Peter looks from the opposite side of Calvary, several years after Jesus died. And in 1 Peter 2 and verse 24, instead of saying we are healed, he says we were healed. It says, who his own self bare our sins in his body on the tree, that we being dead unto sin might live unto righteousness, by whose stripes ye were healed. So notice this, 800 years before Christ, Isaiah says we are healed. A few years after the resurrection, Peter says we were healed. And I want you to understand that wherever you're listening from right now, that you're not waiting for some evangelist to come lay hands on you and heal you. You are healed and were healed. Do you remember Moses when the Lord said to him, I want you to hide here in the cleft of the rock, and I will cause all of my glory to pass before you. Well, and the Lord passed by, and it says that he saw the Lord's hinder parts. Now that's interesting. You and I, on this side of Calvary, 2,000 years after the cross, see the finished work of Jesus. In other words, we're looking at his backside, or the hinder parts of the Lord. Literally, you know, Rod Parsley preached a sermon one time on the backside of Calvary. If you could see the backside of Jesus, he'd been ripped and torn open with a cat of nine tails. But you and I, 2,000 years this side of the finished work of the cross, see the backside of Calvary. In other words, we see the finished work of the cross. In John 19 and verse 30, Jesus, hanging on the cross, made the sixth of seven cries from the cross. The seventh was, into thy hands I commit my spirit. But the sixth, six being the number of man, Jesus cried, Te tel estai, or literally, it is finished. Now, telestai, tele means completed, or all the way to the end of. In other words, Jesus said, it is finished. He was saying, I've completed my course, and everything required for divine propitiation has been fulfilled. I want you to know it is a very small letter. Or a very small word. I could give you a theological explanation of what happened there when he cried, it is finished. You know, the Roman court papers were stamped with the words te telestai whenever a criminal was let loose from prison. So literally, it was saying paid in full. And I want you to know that Jesus paid in full. If he says it is finished, that little word it, think about this. There's a whole mouthful in it. And you don't care what the theological explanation is. You want to know, how does that apply to you? Well, it is finished. If I say give and it shall be given you, if I say from the Bible ask and it shall be given, if we say cast thy bread on the water and thou shalt find it after many days, or if we say if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything, they shall ask and it shall be done. What's meant by this word it? Well, whatever your it is. I want you to know, folks, if it's a bankruptcy case, if it's a lawsuit over custody for your children, if it's cancer or high blood pressure or a broken arm, I want to declare from the finished work of Christ that it is finished. You don't have to do anything else. In fact, let me say this, and this might seem a weird statement to you, but nobody listening today is going to get healed today. Ooh, you know why that is? I'll tell you why. You are going to get healed, but it's because you are already healed, by whose stripes ye were healed. 2,000 years ago, Jesus finished the work. It is finished. I'm Kris. Thanks for tuning in. Share this with your friends. There's other people that need to be healed, and I want to hear where you're listening to this broadcast from. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.